All right, today we're going to dive into something pretty big. We're talking about achieving true greatness by exploring Robert Greene's incredible book, Mastery. We're basically going to map out the entire path from being a complete novice to becoming a master. So let's get right into it.
So, let's start with the big question, right? Is mastery some kind of gift, something you're born with, reserved for just a lucky few? Or is it a path that really anyone can walk? Well, Robert Greene argues that it's a very clear, very achievable process, and that's exactly what we're about to break down for you.
But before we can even think about starting this journey, we need to know where we're going. We need a destination. So, what exactly is this mastery that we're all striving for? Let's get a clear definition.
According to Greene, mastery is the absolute pinnacle of creative excellence. See, it's not just about being good at something, it's about understanding it so deeply that you can actually reshape your entire field. Just think about someone like Shakespeare. He didn't just write amazing plays, he literally transformed the English language itself. That's the kind of impact we're talking about here. It's huge.
Now, here's something crucial. Mastery isn't just about your technical skills. As you can see, it has two really key components. You've got the technical side, of course, like a musician just completely mastering their instrument. But then there's the social side. And Greene really emphasizes that you just can't succeed in a vacuum. You have to understand people, you have to build relationships to truly make your mark.
So, where does this massive journey even begin? Well, it's not with picking some random skill out of a hat. It all starts by looking inward to find your own personal direction. This inner compass, that's what's going to guide you on the path to mastery. Greene calls this an inner force. It's that natural, almost magnetic pull we feel towards certain activities. It's what draws some people to music and others to mathematics, and still others to building things with their hands. Your very first step on this path to mastery is just learning to listen to that inner voice. So, how do you actually connect with that inner force? Well, first, think back to your childhood. What were you obsessed with before the world told you what you should like? Second, you gotta start seeing your work as a true vocation, not just a 9-to-5 job. And finally, you have to trust the journey. I promise you, it is not gonna be a straight line, but if you follow that inner compass, the right opportunities will absolutely pop up. Now, you might be sitting there wondering, okay, this sounds great, but is it too late for me? Well, Greene's answer to that is a resounding no. He makes it crystal clear that this journey can begin at any age. But here's the twist. Greene also points out that, yeah, a lot of the greats, people like Mozart, started their training when they were incredibly young. So how do we square that circle? How can it be true that you can start anytime, but also that starting young is a huge deal?
So, what's the bottom line here? You can absolutely 100% start your journey to mastery at any age. But let's be real. In some fields, starting super early does give you a major advantage. The key isn't to get discouraged by that, but just to be realistic about it. Okay, so once you've found your calling, it's time for stage one, the apprenticeship phase. This is where you roll up your sleeves and build the rock-solid foundation for your future mastery through really intense, hands-on learning. This apprenticeship phase has 3 core tasks. First, you just observe. Learn all the rules of your field, both the written and the unwritten ones. Second, you focus on one foundational skill and you practice it relentlessly. And third, you have to test your progress. Take on projects, put yourself out there, and get feedback. Your social skills are absolutely crucial in this phase. You have to forget that myth of the lone genius working away in a lab somewhere. Find a mentor, learn to read people, and figure out how to collaborate effectively. This social intelligence will literally fast-track your entire journey to mastery. So, once you've built that strong foundation, you're finally ready for stage 2, creative independence. This is the exciting part, where you really transition from being a student to being a creator, and you start to express your own unique voice. The goal of this stage is to cultivate what Greene calls a creative mind. It's this powerful, amazing blend of a child's sense of wonder with an adult's discipline and experience. It's pretty much the antidote to the conditioned mind that can get stuck in old, rigid ways of thinking. So, how do you develop a creative mind? Well, you commit to a project that actually means something to you. You take action and you start bringing your ideas to life. And, this is a big one, you push through that inevitable self-doubt and all the criticism you're going to face. This is really where your creative strength gets forged. And now for the final stage where everything really comes together. After years and years of dedicated practice, you reach stage 3, mastery.
This is where all that deep knowledge transforms into something that feels almost magical, a master's intuition. As you can see, there's a huge difference between just rational thinking and this high-level intuition. Rational thinking is our slow, step-by-step, deliberate way of learning things. But intuition, that's a rapid, laser-accurate judgment that is born from thousands and thousands of hours of experience. It's so complex that a master often can't even explain how they know something. They just know.
But here's the key. It's not a choice between the two. True mastery is a fusion of both. A master uses their powerful intuition to get a sudden insight, and then they use their rational mind to test it, to refine it, and to prove it. They work together, like perfect partners in the creative process.
So, here's the ultimate takeaway from all of this. Mastery isn't some final destination you just arrive at one day. It's a lifelong journey. It's about intense, purposeful practice. It's about always pushing, always learning, and always staying true to that inner creative drive that got you started.
Look, Robert Greene has given us the map, but the journey to mastery, that is uniquely yours. Now that you've seen the path, all the way from finding your calling to developing that master's intuition, there's really only one question left that matters. What will your first step be?